Hello fashion people, we'll be learning this Natalie Bray pattern block. It has a shoulder dart and a bust band dart, and so like a waist dart. It's as simple as ABC. It may be looking complicated from the or what you are seeing now, but it's very simple. Without further ado, let's dive into the video. So here, this is my pattern paper. We're drafting it on this paper, and to that, I've already ruled out my starting point line on the sides and at the front as well. So here just rule that's just a line. Just draw your line. That's where our measurement is going to be starting from. So the first measurement we're going to be placing is our shoulder slope. So from that starting point line, I'm going to be coming down by 1.5 inches. And I'm going to be ruling that all the way to the other end because I'm going to be drafting the back bodies on one side and the front bodies on the other side. So I'm going to connect my lines and that is it. So that's our shoulder slope. Going to be marking out that 1.5 inches from one end to the other. Hope you're following. Please permit me, I'll be using a pencil for initial drafting, after which I'm going to make the line visible with my marker in case I want to erase some errors you get. But I'm sure it's visible. You can see what I'm doing, right? Alright, let's continue. So to that 1.5 inches, I'm going to be connecting the dots together like in a straight line. And after that, we'll start our proper drafting. This is our shoulder slope, so it's part of the draft we get. So that is it. So we're going to continue up with the drafting of the back bodies before we move to the front. So the back body is going to be on this side. So to that shoulder slope of 1.5 inches came down with, I'm taking out half inches from it. I'm going to connect my line. That means for the back shoulder slope, we are using 1 inch. That means after taking out that half inches, we are left with 1 inch. So for that 1 inch, that's what we're going to use for shoulder slope for the back. So from that my half inch that I drew, I'm taking out my neck width, which is 3 inches, the basic in neck width, 3 inches up and down, and then I'm going to rule it straight. So after ruling it straight, this is now our back neck width and depth to get. So this is, so you can see what I'm trying to show you. That's 1 inch that we have left, and then we're going to rule out our neck curve. So I'm going to just slant out the neck curve. So the next thing, now you're going to be dividing your shoulder measurement by 2, and what we have, we're going to complete the placing of the measurements. Remember our neck is 3 inches, so make sure you place your 3 inches at the tip of your neck, like the tip of the neck. Remember you took 3 inches from this end to this end, so that's the 3 inches. So the remaining measurements, you're going to be completing it. Remember your shoulder divided by 2, that's our shoulder measurement. So place the 3 inches at that tip, and then you slant your tip downward to get to the actual shoulder slope. That's why you drew that line initially. And to that, you're going to be placing your shoulder measurement divided by 2. My shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus 0.5 inches. That is half an inch. Place of shoulder measurement, and that shoulder measurement, you're just going to make sure the shoulder measurement is on the line, and then the extension is going to be your 0.5 inch, which is going to exceed that line downwards a little because it's just an half inch. Hope you are following. So you are going to connect your lines, so it's going to pass that 1.5 inches downward a little, which is actually 1 inch now, you get. So you can just see what I'm doing. So the actual shoulder measurement is on that line, and it's extended a little downwards by 0.5 inches. That is going to be our shoulder dart. We're going to be taking that half inch for our shoulder dart later. So that is it. So now you're going to be getting our armhole line. We're going to get an armhole line. To get your armhole line, you're going to be doing your bust divided by 6. So it is your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. So when you get it there, you're going to start from this line. That 1.5 inches is actually 1 inch for the back. You're going to start from that line, and then you're going to place where you get. That's going to be our armhole line. I'm going for mine, I'm getting 8. So I'm going to connect that to this end, create my point, and then I'm going to roll it up with a straight line. This is going to be our armhole line, we get. So that I connected my ruler to have it to be a straight line. Also, don't forget to drop your question in the comment section. We're there to attend to you. Please, for now, let's mind my pencil you get. I'll still make it obvious with my marker later. So this is it. So this is now my armhole line or my bust line, some people call it. But this is the back. So there's no bust at the back, so I will prefer to create armhole line. So that this is it. So now I'm trying to create our armhole curve now. And to create our armhole curve, we need to get our across back. We get across back is the measurement for the back. Okay, to get our across back. You know, after making clothes, sometimes you find out that the armhole, like there's excess fabric at the armhole line at the back. That's because the person didn't make use of the across back measurement. So to get the across back measurement, you can take it from your client, or if not, you can still use calculations to get it. For the across back, you'll be doing your shoulder minus 1 inch divided by 6. That's going to be your across back measurement. But first of all, you need to divide this by 2. You know, from the tip to this lower line is your armhole line. So you need to get the midpoint from the shoulder, from this line, that line, which is actually 1 inch now, to that line. So you need to get the midpoint, and to me the midpoint is 4. You can just fold your tape into 2 to get that, or you can just do your division and place it. So I'm doing this line. This is where I'm going to be placing. This is going to be the actual across back. You get. So the midline from the tip to the armhole line is your across back. So it's as simple as that. So you place that measurement you are using is shoulder minus 1 divided by 2. Example, if your shoulder is 16, so you're going to do 16 minus 1 divided by 2. Whatever you get, that is going to be your cross back. That's XB. I just wrote XB there. That's our cross back. Yeah. So I'm going to place that measurement, and I'll place that measurement all the way, just to have a straight line. This just help you to get a perfect armhole curve. Hope you are following. So I'm going to push the same measurement downward, just have a straight line, and that is it. So next we're going to be doing our bust divided by 6, so that we um can get all the measurements you need to draw our armhole line. So your bust measurement divided by 6, your round bust divided by 6, place that measurement there, and now we can now form our armhole. So from that tip of 0.5 inch we came down from the shoulder slope, you connect it to the across back, and then from the across back you connect it to the bust line or the armhole line that we drew, where we placed our bust divided by 6. If your French curve can get the whole curve at once, good and fine. But if not, just connect it one after the other and blend out any pointy edge that you see there. So just as I'm doing, I'm connecting one after the other from the across back to the bust armhole line, which is the bust measurement, and then to the tip of the shoulder slope. This is it. So for mine, there's no pointy edge. But if you have any pointy edge, so just blend it out, and that is it. So we are done with the upper part now. We are done with armhole line, and then we're going to move over to the lower part. So we're going to be placing our half length now. So the simplest way to do this to avoid confusion is to take your tape upwards to the actual starting point line, not from the back starting point line. We get now, this is the back bodies they are drafting now. So you're going to push your tape upwards to this first starting point line, and then we're going to be taking the half length measurement of our front bodies. You know, there's half length for the front and there's half length for the back. So now we're taking the half length of the front now, after which you're going to be minusing the difference you get, just avoid confusion. So take your tape upwards and then take the actual measurements of your front bodies. Then you're we can now subtract the difference to get our back bodice. So the front half bodice I'm working with here is 17.5 inches. After that, I'm going to be bringing that the points together, as you can see. So this is our half length, our front half length. We can write it front half length, yeah, to avoid confusion as I'm doing. So just indicate front half length, front HL, that's front half length. So now we are going to be getting the difference now. So for front bodice is 17.5 inches. So I zoomed it so you can see what I'm writing. Then for the back half bodice is 16. So from the tip to my half length of my back is 16 inches to get. So 17.5 minus 16 inches, that will be giving us 1.5 inches. Then the other 1.5 inches, going to minus 0.5 inches. That means I've taken out 0.5 inches from the tip to get the actual starting point line for our back bodies. Hope you are following. That half inches that we came by with. So I'm going to see you take back my zoom it out, so you're going to be seeing it. So that means I have 1 inches left now. Then at the center about back, you're going to be placing that 1 inch upwards from the actual half length of the front. Going to mark that half inch, 1.5 inches upward. That means difference between our front and our back is 1.5 inches. You get 17.5 minus 16 inches, that's 1.5. I've taken, so to reduce the bulkiness of what you're going to taking out at the center back from the half length, so we took out half inches upwards. You get, that's why we have at the actual shoulder slope, the actual starting point line for our back to be minus from that 0.5 inches. You get, you minus half inches from that 1.5 inches to get our actual starting point line for our back, and then we are left with what, 1 inch left. Hope you're following. 1.5 inches minus half inches, and then we have 1 inch left. And so we have 2.5 inches for yours. That means you took out half inches from the starting point line, you'll be left with what, 2 inches. From starting point line, place your 2 inches. That's as simple as that. So from this half 1 inch that we came up by now, that's what we're going to be placing our half length. That's our waist measurements. You get, waist circumference divided by 4. I'm going to be placing it. I'm having what, 10 inches, 10.25. I think that's what I have there for my half length. So just do your waist circumference divided by 2. You get, so divided by 2, and then we're going to place an extra 2 inches for that. 1 inch for our back slope, and then 1 inch for our waist. That's your waist circumference divided by 4 plus an extra 2 inches. That's as simple as that. And then from this end, you're going to coming up by 1 inch. This 1 inch is constant, even if your half length difference is 3 inches. The half inch you're coming back from the side back is constant. I'm going to be seeing the reason when we are drafting the front bodies. So just take note of that. That 1 inch from the for the side back is constant. And now you're going to connecting your dots, like the bust circumference measurement to the waist measurement. That is it. That means the armhole line to the back half length. So now you're going to take another 1 inch. So I'll place down my 1 inch. Remember, we did waist divided by 4 plus 2 inches. So now we're taking that 1 inch. That's our back slope. So I connected that 1 inch to the tip of my neck curve. 1 inch is off, remaining 1 inch. And remaining 1 inch is for what? For our waist dart. You get. So to get that, you're going to be doing your bust span divided by 2 inches. Your bust span divided by 2 inches. So what you get, you're going to be placing it. You can use your bust span divided by 2 inches. But for me, I prefer using my bust divided by 2 inches plus 0.5 inches. Because if I use my bust span divided by 2 inches, I found that it used to be close to the very close to the waist, like to the slant, this slant that we just drew now. So that's actual back slant. So I prefer doing my my bust span divided by 2 inches plus 0.5 inches. Whatever I have there, I'm going to be placing it at that waist. waist. I hope you are following. So to place it, I'm going to be placing my tip measurement at the tip, not from that shoulder slope, from that actual distance, because I'm doing plus 0.5 inches to get. And then I'm going to be placing my bust span divided by 2 plus 0.5 inch. And then I'm going to be taking out, then I'm going to repeat the same measurements for this up, just make it to be a straight line. And then from this, you're going to be coming down by 1 inch, okay, so that the dart doesn't get to the exactly at the armhole line. So from the armhole line, you're going to come down by 1 inch, and that's where your dart is going to stop. Then I connect it with a straight line. Hope you are following. Just place your bust span measurement divided by 2, then extend whatever you have there upwards, and then by the side I'm doing 0.5 inches at the sides, and this is our dart, and the dart stopped as 1 inch below the armhole line. It's as simple as that. But if you have a question, drop in the comment section, I'll be answering you there. So this is it. I'm trying to be as detailed as possible. So now remember that on our shoulder we place an extra 0.5 inches for our shoulder darts. So now you're trying to be taking it out from the tip of the shoulder to the extension you have there. Measure out what you have, measure it out and divide it by 2. So I'll just place my tape measurements from the tip to the where the extension stopped, and I'm going to be folding my tape into 2. I'm going to fold my tape, so that means I just divided it by 2. And then remember that what we have as an extension is 0.5 inch, which is half of an inch. So that half of an inch, you're going to divide it by 2. You're going to be placing it at the sides of that midpoint that you got. Remember, that means it's going to be 0.25 on each side. And then you're going to mark an extension of 3 inches. This is going to be the extension of your shoulder dart. You follow? Then you're going to connect your lines together. Just mark the straight line and then connect it to the 0.25 on each side. That's it's our shoulder dart, which is our shoulder dart. And that means you're taking out the half inch that we placed in excess. So now you're going to be measuring the tip of your shoulder to the first dart leg. What you have there, just write it down. And then you're going to measure the other, so make sure that they're equal. And you can see for mine is equal. So I'm going to write out down what I have there. So just write it down. You're going to be using that you're going to be using that measurement later. So this is it. This is all for the upper bodies of our back. This is all, as simple as that. So now we're going to move over to the front bodies now. Hope you follow. So I'm trying to label it. So this is our back half length, BHL, our back half length. That's our shoulder slope. This is our side back. That's our armhole curve, our shoulder, and our center back right there. So now I'm going to be moving it so that we can draw our front bodies at this side. So to start with our back, we're going to make use of the first starting point line that we drew, and the measurement is going to run from this side to the center of the paper we get. So I'm using a shoulder width and depth of 3 inches. So I'm going to mark 3 inches for the shoulder width and 3 inches for the shoulder depth as well. After which I'm going to square up the lines together. So when you're done grilling it out, so you can measure this tip to make sure that it's nothing less than 1 inch. Just make sure that your curve is like properly curved. You get just a guide. Yeah, and then we're going to start by placing our shoulder measurements. So remember, our shoulder measurement divided by 2 inches, and we're going to do just as we did for the back. Make sure that your 3 inches is placed at the tip, and then we're going to be slanting it to the shoulder slope to get our actual shoulder measurement. So make sure the tip is there, and then we're going to tilt your tip forward and place your shoulder divided by 2 inches. So for the front, because of they have a shoulder dart for the front, So unlike for the back, we are going to be using 3 inches for the shoulder slope, which is going to be an additional 3 inches to your actual shoulder divided by 2. You get, just extend it by 3 inches. Remember, your actual shoulder measurement is going to be exactly on that line, on the shoulder slope line, which is with the 1.5 inches we came down with, we came down by from the starting point line. So your actual shoulder measurement is going to be on that line, and then it's going to extend it like below that line by 3 inches, which is the shoulder dart, the excess for the shoulder dart. Okay, so just mark rule your lines, and this is it. And then we're going to be placing our armhole line or our bust line just as we did for the back. It's going to still be the same measurement you get. So it's still going to be our bust divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. And they're going to start the placement of the measurements from the 1.5 inches, which our shoulders to that is that line. They're going to start in placement of your armhole line or your bust line. So bust divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches or 2 inches if you want it to be a little bit more freer, but 1.5 inches is fine. We can do bust divided by 6 plus 1.5 or plus 2.5 or plus 2 inches. So that is it. So I'm going to still place the measurements this side, so I can be able to have a straight line when I connect my dots together. And this is I connected my dots to my dot together, and this is our armhole line or our bust line. So now we're going to be placing the rest of our vertical measurements. So from the starting point line, we're going to place a tip at starting point line, and then we're going to get our bust point. Our bust point, measure your bust point from that tip. So every measurement is now going to be starting from that starting point line for all our horizontal, for all our vertical measurements. So from the tip, I'm going to be measuring my bust point. I'm going to measure my bust point, and then my under bust and the half length. For the bust point is 10.75. Then for the under bust is 13.5 inches. Just make use of your own measurements. And then I'm going to be extending downwards to the half length, 10.5, 13.5 inches. And then I'm going to place in my half length, after which I'm going to place the same measurement at the other end to be able to connect a straight line. It's as simple as that. So we'll be labeling that through bust line or bust point. That's our true bust line. And you can write it on bust point BP. And then this is our under bust to UB. And then this is our half length, that half length of 17.5 inches. That's HL, that's our half length. So this is it. Next, I'm going to be placing our bust span. Our bust span divided by 2 inches. No more bust span divided by 2 plus 0.5 for the front. That's for the back. So for the front, we're just doing our bust span measurement, nipple to nipple divided by 2 inches. And we're going to be placing that on our half length and all the way up you get. So that is it. So first of all, let's place our horizontal measurements. So for our waist, we're going to be doing our waist circumference divided by 4. plus an extra 2 inches. So you know they did the same thing for the back. For the back, you did waist divided by 4 plus 2 inches. So for the front, I'm going to be doing the same thing, and I'm going to be taking that extra 2 inches later. So your bust divided by 2 inches plus your waist circumference divided by 2 inches plus 2 inches, and then at the end you're going to be coming up by 1 inch, just as we did for the back. You know, for the back we came up by 1 inch as well, and then we're going to place now our bust measurement. So it's going to be your bust divided by 4 inches. For the back, we are going to be adding an extra 1 inch to the bust circumference. That 1 inch is going to be taken out where we are doing our shoulder darts. So you see the difference there is going to be almost 1 inch. You're going to see that. Just for what I'm doing now. So let's just place horizontal measurement, and then we're going to be taking out the excesses later. So the bust circumference divided by 4 inches plus 1 inch, and then the waist circumference divided by 4 inch plus 2 inches, and then you're going to be connecting your dots together. Remember, for the waist area we went up by 1 inch, just as we did for the back, and then this is it. This is what we have for our side, and then we're going to be proceeding. So now let's start off with the waist measurement from the waist darts. So from the waist dart, I'm going to taking out ½ inch on both sides. That means you're taking out 1 inch from the 2 inches excess that we added to at our waist circumference divided by 4 plus 2 inches. And then for the bust point, I'm going to coming down by 1 inch, and then I'm going to connect it to my dart legs. That is it. We have taken out 1 inch from the 2 inches added to the waist circumference measurement divided by 4. So remaining 1 inch. So from this dart leg, I'm going to take the 1 inch starting from that dart leg. So from that dart leg, you go inside by 1 inch. You're going to be using this for under bust contouring later. So just mark it. That means you're taking out the whole 2 inches that we added to the waist circumference. So then that's what we're going to do for our underbust contouring, and then you're going to connect that 1 inch you went up by at the waist area to that 1 inch beside the that leg. You get, so just connect your dots like this. This is just to give the waist a more defined look. You get that little slant by the side by 1 inch is going to make it to be like from the waist it went up a little, just to give an emphasis on the waist after you are done sewing the clothes. We will now be placing our chest measurement. That means you're going to get our chest line. First, so from the butt line or the armhole line, you're going to go by 2 inches. From this is usually a constant for me. So that's for all sizes. So just go by 2 inches from the bust line or the armhole line. That is going to be our chest line. This we're going to be placing our chest measurements. There is a formula for this, but you can measure it to your clients as well. So this is it. But now we are going to go over to our shoulder line to place our darts. Get, remember that we have not added our shoulder dart just as we added for the back. So we need to add the one for the front that we extended by an extra 3 inches. So now we are going to be doing is that you're going to be using that measurement that we took from the back. No, from the back we did from the bust, from that from the shoulder, that from that leg to this area we got 2.65, which we wrote down. So I'm just trying to recap to draw attention back to that. So this is what we wrote down we get, and from this end to the other that leg is the same thing. So that thing that we got, that measurement we getting from there, that's going to use it as a guide to get your shoulder dart. So what you're going to be doing is that from the tip of the shoulder you're going to measure that 2.65, which varies. So use what you have when you measure out your own. You get, hope you understand this. It's that simple. So you're just going to use that as a guide to get our shoulder dart. From the tip, I measured my 2.6 for this, which is what I'm using for this particular measurement. And from the other end as well, I measured that
2.65. So this is the difference. When you measure this, the difference now, it's going to be 3 inches, which is the additional inches that we added to our shoulder divided by 2. So you're going to be connecting that to your bust line or your true bust line. So just create a straight line all the way upward, just like that. Just create a straight line to that to connect to your bust point, and that is it for our shoulder dart. And then the next thing is that we're going to be blending it out to get, we'll still blend it out later. So you see, when I measure out, what I have there is 3 inches, which is excess that we added to our shoulder divided by 2. So this is it. So work with the, just follow what I'm doing, and you find out that you're going to have a perfect fit when you're done sewing with this particular pattern. I like Natalie Bray's pattern. I also make use of this thing of bust that too, but I like Natalie Bray's pattern. We are now going to be forming our armhole curve. We're trying to create an armhole curve for the back now. So we're going to be getting our chest measurements. Our chest measurements is now shoulder minus 2 divided by 2 inches. Unlike the back, that is shoulder minus 1 divided by 2. The front is shoulder minus 2 divided by 2 inches. It works for all sizes, but you can also take the measurements on your clients as well. So for this particular pattern, my shoulder is 16.5 minus 2 divided by 2 inches. This is what I have. So I'll be placing that measurement at the chest line to be able to get my armhole curve for the front. So to do that, I'll be start from the starting point line. I'll measure to the that leg, you get, to that shoulder, that leg there. I will then try and take notes of what you have there. There's your measurement. You can just indicate it on your tape rule as I'm doing. What you have from there to your first dart leg. Then lift your tape up, and whatever you get, you place it at the second dart leg on the shoulder and of the shoulder dart. You get, you place it at that second dart leg and then complete your measurements. Complete your measurements. And then you're now going to place what you have as 16 minus 0.5 minus 2 divided by 2. That's your shoulder minus 2 divided by 2. That's what we have. That's our chest line. And then we'll be connecting that to the tip of the shoulder. But first of all, let's take it downwards, like draw a straight line downwards first. And then we can now be forming our armhole curve. You find that what if you measure this difference like that the shoulder, that leg that we skipped, when you measure it, you're going to find out that it's 1 inch. That's why you did our bust divided by 4 plus 1 inches. That's when we are placing our bust measurements earlier. Remember, placing our bust measurement area, we added 1 inch to that. That's because of this shoulder that you took out that 1 inch extra. So at the end, we have our actual bust measurement. And also that's also helps because that's the bust area, so it helps you to have a little bit of space for your bust to sit down properly, if especially if you're working for a plus size. So you see I'm connecting my armhole. So I connected from the chest line to the actual armhole line, and then I connected a straight line first, and now I'm trying to create a little bit of curve using the curve part of my French curve. Just connect from the tip to that chest line. It's just a little bit like 0.25, it went inward at the midpoint. So just connect it like this, and then if there's a pointy edge, try and blend it out, and that is it. So I blended this pointy edge on mine, and this is it for our armhole curve. I'll actually make this obvious using my marker. Hope you are seeing what I'm doing. It's as simple as that. We're almost done. So to label that, this is my SF, that's like my side front. This is my CF, my center front. We'll be blending out that area. You can take it up by half of an inch like slightly, but to be on a safer side, you can fold it in and trace out what you have. You can just connect it this way. See, and just come up by a little bit, half of an inch, and connect it this way. Just avoid any shortage when you are cutting it out, you get, and that is it. This, I prefer using this. You can come to this true bust line and fold it like this. Just double your paper and fold in. Just create a crease line on that line, on that true bust line, or your breast point line or bust point line. Just create a crease line around that area, and then you're going to be folding in your paper. You're still trying to blend in that shoulder dart. I prefer doing this more on a safer side than going up by that half of an inch and blending it out. So you can just split it in like this, and then you're going to also be creating a crease line at one of the shoulder darts. You're going to create a crease line at that point. You created a crease line at the bust point line to make it easier to be able to create this crease line at the shoulder darts. So you're going to create this crease line, then you're going to fold it over the other dart leg. You're following it, right? So just create this crease line and then you fold it over. You're folding this on top. It's going to be on top of that line. You get exactly, not excess, not shortage. It's going to be on that crease line, on the other that leg. Then you just like this, and yeah, you can see you have an excess at the upper, a shortage at the upper area. One side is longer than the other. You look at the shoulder lines. So now I'm going to be connecting from the tip of my shoulder to the tip of my neck curve. You see, so you're trying to take out that shortage. That's the essence of this. So you see that it's better to do this than to just go by half, or go up by half of an inch and blend it out. You end up having a shortage. So you can do this, and then you'll be getting your tracing wheel, because there's a paper underneath and we need to open it up later. You get, there's a fold underneath, so you need to make sure that this new line that you draw is showing downwards. You get, so I'm going to use my tracing wheel to trace it out. If you don't have a tracing wheel, you can make sure that your pen or your pencil, like, you go over the line multiple times to create a line for you when you open up your paper. You get, so that you see the same thing with a tracing wheel. Yeah, this is what I'm doing. You can go over it like this to be able to get that crease line, or you can use your tracing wheel, and then you're going to go over to opening it up again just as it was initially. Then you're going to see that crease line or your tracing wheel marker, like the line that went over it, and then we are going to be using our ruler to just make that line visible. You can see mine. I hope you can see mine. Then you can just trace it out on top, and this is it. So now we are done with our shoulder darts, the contouring and taking out the excess or whatever around that area. So when you cut your paper, there will not be one side. When you cut it on fabric, like after you're done doing whatever design you're creating on this pattern, you find out that the shoulder will equalize. It will not be one side shorter and one side longer. That you want to avoid. So now we're almost done. The next thing now is to do our underbust contouring. To do our underbust contouring, that is to create our underbust tightening. Now I'm going to be using our underbust circumference for this. So you're going to be using your underbust divided by 4. You get your underbust divided by 4. This is our underbust contouring, and then you'll be done with our basic bodies, our Natalie Bray's basic bodies. So I'm trying to get my underbust divided by 4, and then when you have it, then you're going to start from this first dart, your starting point line. I'm going to stop at the first dart leg, just as you did for the chest line. When you stop there, you trace out what you have, and then you lift up your tape again and make sure that measurement that you took out is placed on your second dart leg, and then you're going to complete your measurements, which is your underbust divided by 4. So this is what I have. This is for mine. I'm going to be placing my measurements. As you can see, there's an excess by the side. You've not gotten to where we drew our line. So from that point that you measure, that is your underbust circumference, you're going to measure out the excess. So for this my particular measurements, I have 2 inches as my excess, and that 2 inches is what I'm going to be using for my contouring. Hope you're following. So from this first dart leg, I'm going to be measuring 1.5 inwards. I'm trying to tighten my underbust now. When I measure out one, can use one. I try to use, okay, now I'm using 1.25 on this same. You can also use 1.5. That means 1.25, I have an excess of 0.75 that I need to complete on the other side. And then from the other side, that leg, I'm going to take out the rest of 0.75. That means at the end I have my 2 inches excess taken out already. 2 inches excess that we have on the under bust, you get. So now from that line, I'm going to connect it to that 1 inch that we left on the waist that we just marked out. Because I hope you can remember that 1 inch. Yes. And then from the other side, I'm going to connect my under bust tightening to the dart leg. As simple as that. To just connect this side to the dart leg, and to the other side, going to connect it to the excess of 1 inch that we added, that is left on the waist circumference. And this is it. Now I'm going to be curving out our under bust. So using the curved parts of your ruler, just take note of the placement of my ruler or my French curve. I'm using a master pattern for this. Always take note of that. So I'm trying to, because I created a crease point at that bust point, so it's like it's fainting. I'm trying to make the line more pronounced. That's what I did. That's what I just did. And now take note of the placement of my curved ruler. I'm going to curve it from my bust point to that under bust. I'm going to be curving it that way, and I'm going to curve the other end as well. This is for under bust tightening. So now we are done with our half length, like from the shoulder to the half length, and now I'm going to be extending all the way down. So for me, I'm going to measure my hip measurement. From there to my hip, I'm using, can use, just use what works for you, like measure out on your client. For this, I'm using 8 inches. So I'm measuring out that 8 inches, you get. Just take note of the placement of my tape, because you know it went up by 1 inch there. So if I measure from there to downwards, it's going to be 9 inches. And then from here to my to there is 8 inches. So I'm going to connect it together. Like I'm going to connect my points together. And this is going to be my hip line. So I'm just trying to take the measurements down so that we can be clear on what we are working on. So this is just like a full bodice. It's a full bodice from the upper torso down to the lower torso. That is it. So now I'm going to be measuring my half length or my knee length. I think I'll be stopping inside the knee length. I measure all the way to the full length of your dress. Like if you're making a dress, like a long dress, you can measure it up down to your full length. But the same techniques as I'm applying here. So I'm going to measure my half length from there all the way downwards. And so I was able to show you that. My camera was able to capture that, but we're going to be seeing that in a jiffy. And what I have there, I'm connected it to have a straight line. So at the hip line, I'm going to be placing my bust velvet by 2 inches as well. I'm going to place it down also at the full length, which is my knee length. I'm going to place it there, and then I'm going to connect it to the that leg of the upper torso. Just look at the placement. It's at the midpoint. You can see where I connected it, not at that leg. I connected it upwards to the middle, like the bust span measurement for the upper torso. Connected it all the way downward. And now from that bust leg, that that my hip line, I'm going to go by 2 inches. This is the front body, remember. I went up by 2 inches. Then I'm going to slant in the that leg to that 2 inches. I didn't want my dart to reach the hip area, we get. So I took it off this way. If you always make a dress, I find out that you have excess fabric at the center, like around your your hips, like around your buttock, is because of this. So I'm trying to take out all excess. So remember, you have an excess of 1 inch by this side, and then from the hip line, I'm going to take in 1 inch. so that to connect it to that to the 1 inch excess on the waist measurement. So to get your hip measurement is going to be your hip divided by 4 plus 1 inch, because you are taking out, so that you're able to connect this 1 inch at the waist area, which is your half length, to that 1 inch. So it's your hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch, and I marked it out there. So I'm going to connect my hip circumference to the waistline. You see, I'm connecting it soon. Take note of that as well. So this is it. And then I'm going to be taking out that 1 inch at the hip line. Take out that 1 inch. And at that point that I mark that 2 inches upwards, I'm also going to take out 1 inch as well. And then to this, I'll be connecting it to the dart leg. So I'm taking the 1 inch all the way to the full length. That's what I'm going to do as well. I'm going to take it all the way to the hip length, and now I'm going to connect the half length to the 1 inch that is placed upward at the 2 inches, and then all the way straight down to the full length. It's as easy and simple as that. If you try this pattern in making any dress, let me know. Let me know. You can send me the picture on Instagram, or you can just find a way and send it to me. I have my links in my bio. Do one and send me a picture of a dress you make using this pattern, and I'm telling you, it's going to come out as perfect as anything. So now we're going to take the same measurement we have for on our hip line, and we'll take it to the full length. This is before the contouring. You can still tighten your full length by taking the exact measurements here all the way downwards. We are going to be connecting it with a straight line. So now to tighten the full length, I'm going to be taking in 1 inch from there, and I'm going to connect it to my hip line. I took a 1.5 inches. I'm tightening by 1.5 inches. You can work with what is comfortable with you. This is unfold. That means unfold. I'm taking out, when I take it unfold is half 1.5. When it's not unfold, it will be 3 inches. That is for the contouring of my front full length. And then to label it, I'm writing CF center front and SF my side front. So this is this. We are done with the contouring and drafting of the upper bodies. And yeah, make sure that you blend out the pointy edge at your hip area when you connected your hip measurement to your full length. After when you are done with the contour, make sure you take out the sharp edge. And now I'm going to be drafting for the lower torso of the back bodies as well. So from the half length, this is not the back, this is the full length of the back of the front, remember. So came down by 8 inches. See where I started the taking down of my hip measurement, not from the actual back half length. Started from the half length of the front, or indicated at the back, and I went down by 8 inches, and then I'm going to be marking my full length as well. And then I'm going to repeat the same thing for this side, the hip line, and then the full length, and then I'll be connecting it together, connecting my dots together, and I'll be labeling them. So for the back, it's going to be your hip measurement divided by 4. We are not adding an extra 1 inch to the hip measurement. The exact hip measurement divided by 4. And then you're going to connecting it upward to your back half length. You get connect it upward. And then the same measurement, you're going to be placing it down at your full length. And then you're going to be squaring it up as well. So to do the tightening of the back area, I'm going to be tightening it on both sides. For the side, I'm sorry I wasn't able to capture that very well. So but I'll be tightening, as I'll be tightening the side of the front by 1.5. I'll be tightening the back on both sides, at the center back and at the side back. Okay, so this is my CB, my center back, and SB my side back. So at the center back, I'll be taking out 1 inch from the side center back, and I'll connect it all the way to the hip. When I connect that 1 inch, I tightened up by one, and that means I went in by 1 inch. I'm sorry I wasn't able to capture that very well. So I went in by 1 inch, and then I connected it all the way to the hip line, and then from that hip line I'm going to connect it over to that sh- um, center back slant that we gave at the upper body, you get. So I connected all the way up, so now I have our slant from the tip of the shoulder to the half length, from the half length to the hip length, curved that perfectly, and then slanted downward again to the 1 inch at the full length, giving that little bit of illusion. And maybe in one of our videos going to do how to do your bust contour. We're going to be doing that later in one of our upcoming tutorials. So now I'm going to be going up by 3 inches at the back, see, and then I'm going to be forming my bust span divided by 4, no, bust span divided by 2, I mean to say by 2 plus 0.5 inches. That's what we use for the upper part. Your bust span divided by 2 plus 0.5 inches, half of an inch, and then I'm going to connect it all the way upward, and then I'm going to be slanting the dart legs downwards as well. So, and this is it. So we have taken out everything that we need to take out, and our back is almost ready. Please have any question, don't forget to drop it in the comment section. I'll be there to attend to you. Then for the side back, I'm going to be contouring that side back as well. So for the side back, I'm using 0.5 inches for the contour. I'm taking out a little. So that means, yeah, if you calculate everything that we have on fold, on our front we took out 1.5 for the contouring of the lower or the full length, 1.5 at the center back we took out 1 inches, making it 2.5 inches. And then if you calculate be that 2.5 inches on fold, I mean you're taking out 5 inches in total. So for the center back, I'll only be for the side back, I'll only be contouring it the full length by half of an inch. That means in excess we do 1.5 for the front plus 1 inch for the center back plus 0.5 inches at the side back. That will be giving us a total of 1.5 plus 1, 2.5 plus half of an inch, that's 3 inches. To contour the front and the back bodies with 3 inches. That means when you open it up, it's going to be a total of 6 inches if it's not on fold. Yeah. So I think this is more comfortable. But if you want it to be a little bit tighter, you can make it 7 inches altogether when it's not on fold. That means 3.5 on fold. But 3 inches is fine by me. And this is it. So this is my SB, my side back, and it's almost ready. So this is it. Our bodice is perfect. This is our Natalie Bray's bodice, but it's modified to give us a more better something. You get, no, it's fashion as we are sewing for people. You'll be making alterations and be getting what works perfectly for body types. And this is it. This is our front, and that is our back. Drop your question in the comment section if you have any, and this is it. So this is what it looks like when I made it over with my marker. You see how beautiful it's looking. And this is it. This is for our back, and the other was is our front. The other one is our front. This is the back. That's the that, and this is it. You see how beautiful it's looking. And thank you. I will see you in my next class. Until then, bye.